Sedna powered through the waters of the Pacific Ocean, swimming as fast as she could and staying in the depths while bearing south toward her best hope of safety. Fleeing the destruction of the Inuit pantheon, the goddess left the icy waters of the Arctic Circle behind. How many had died? Gods had been dying in the war for centuries, but not her gods, not the Inuit. They'd managed to stay out of the war until today. Poseidon, the strongest of sea deities, perished in the war. He'd died over 2 centuries ago, and the ocean still mourned his passing. Atlakamani, Mananan Miklir, Maizuki, and over a dozen other sea deities from other pantheons had also been destroyed. War was devastating the heavens above, and even the placid seas of Earth were no longer safe. The Titans had freed the Kraken from its prison, and the creature wreaked havoc across the watery depths, hunting gods, goddesses, and sea creatures at its master's request. The merfolk were hiding. The sea nymphs and water sprites lived in a constant state of panic. I will not be another casualty. At least, not today. The tingle along her skin alerted Sedna she'd crossed the border. She was in his realm now. Well, all the sea was his realm, really. But here she felt his essence closer. Tropical currents caught her, propelling her on. In other times, she would have enjoyed the swim, reveling in the warmer waters of the equatorial region. But his home, like hers, was in colder waters to the north. Was he also hiding out here? She descended deeper, and the water chilled once again. Cold and dark, it was how she felt inside as well, as she swam down to the deepest part of the Marianas Trench. Yes, this would be a good place to hide. If only she could have taken others with her when she'd fled. She mourned the loss of the Inuit gods that had perished this day. But there was no time to give in to grief. She was close to him now. Her stomach did a flip as questions and doubts assailed her. Would he be receptive after all this time? Could even the power of the World Serpent protect her from the enemy? More importantly, would he? He and his kind had managed to stay above the conflict that ravaged the heavens above. He certainly didn't owe her anything. Sedna? She heard his voice in her mind as she approached the deepest part of the trench. The darkness was complete here, except for the light she brought with her. Colorless, eyeless fish swam past on a sandy seafloor where nothing grew. There was a rumble of movement below. Suddenly, his light joined hers to illuminate the ocean floor. She was a half-mile away from the serpent, yet his head filled her vision. The immense serpentine body vanished into the darkness to the north. The tail lay beside the head, coming from the south. He really did circle the planet. The great eyes opened, staring up at her. "After all this time," the serpent said, "at last you come to me." "So many are dead," she began. "And I am your last choice?" Sedna had to smile, despite her fears. "No, Jorm. You were not my last choice." Jormungandr had been, in fact, her first. He would be the strongest power in the oceans now that Poseidon was gone. And it was more than that. There was that fiery inner calling she felt whenever she thought about the Norse sea god. So few sought to pierce beyond the serpentine visage to see the real god beneath. But Sedna had. Powerful, virile, and confident, Jormungandr had allowed Sedna to see his inner self as they dallied beneath the waves and rejoiced together in their creations. Had that really been a millennium ago? Oh, Poseidon had thought he was in charge, orchestrating the oceans to his liking. But Sedna and Jorm snuck away from the fawning crowd of sea deities on many occasions. She remembered their creation of the clownfish. The old Greek never caught on that the stripes were a joking reference to his ugly trident. They drifted apart, though, each pulled to their own pantheon as humanity guided their realities. The Inuit sought her wisdom in hunting the seal and walrus, while the fierce Norsemen prayed to Odin for deliverance from the dreaded World Serpent. "Come on in," Jorm said. The great serpent lifted his head and opened his mouth. "With an invitation like that, how can a girl resist?"